Today we're going to make a terrarium in this jar with these plants and moss. It will look just like this, and I will even tell you more. We will have a bug there, this wonderful peel bug, and I'm going to show you step by step all the layers, how I plan, so stay tuned and watch the video till the end because you will see something nice. In my previous videos, I've shown you how to collect moss, where to find it, and I would like to mention again that take just a little bit, try not to harm the nature because it takes long years for the moss to grow. So we will be using all these diverse types of moss that I've collected, and you can see them in my previous video. The link is at the right top corner. We will also use a piece of bark just for decoration, and in another video I have shown you what plants I have bought for this terrarium, so you can go ahead and check that one out too. And today we are going to go to a nice place and plant our terrarium there. We are here at a lake, and let's start. I have my jar here, I have all the plants and moss and mesh here as well, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first step, let's just prepare what we need. We need mesh. We take the mesh and you can put in under your jar measuring how wide you need your mesh to be, and then you cut it according to not to the bottom but to the middle where you're planning to have your layer of soil. So I'm going just to cut it just roughly, and later of course we'll measure it again, and if needed we can make it smaller, but for now you can take just any mesh and just cut it according to your jar. We will be using this mesh to have a layer, actually to have layers separate in our jar, in our terrarium. I'm going to show you how to do it now, step by step. Now we need to make this mesh round, so you can just fold it and then you just cut it at an angle to make it just a little bit round. But of course then we will measure it and most probably we'll need to make it a little bit smaller. We'll see, but that's pretty easy. All right, so we have our mesh here. Looks pretty cool, all this part. Let's just cut this one too. This is just something that we don't need. Okay, let's put it here, and now let's start. So the first layer should be gravel or maybe sand, just some small stones that will be kind of drainage for you. I've chosen these white ones to also have a color, a color in my terrarium. The big ones I will put aside, but the small ones will perfectly fit into the first layer. So the first layer should be gravel. This will be a drainage for us when we are watering. The water will go to the bottom, and then the soil will not stay wet all the time. So you need the first layer. You can choose whatever you have at hand. It can be just small stones that you can collect from somewhere depending on where you live, or you can just buy them, of course. There can be even different colors. I prefer just the white one to have, you know, some contrast. So the stones will be white, the rocks will be white, and then I will have soil. And this way it will be more beautiful, so it will be kind of contrasting. I will also use the bigger ones to decorate on top of the soil to make it more beautiful and more kind of diverse. All right, so the first layer we have gravel. Now let's put our mesh here, and the mesh will prepare. We have already prepared. We will now measure it and see. Most probably we need to make it smaller, definitely. Okay, we take it out. We fold it again, and we will cut it a little bit from the edges, just like this. You don't really need some specific measures, just do, you know, approximately how you feel will be right. I think this one is perfect now. We just put it on the gravel, and yes, that's the perfect size. Okay, the next layer is charcoal, and this will be used for to serve as a filter in our terrarium, because the water will go through the charcoal every time and it will be kind of filtering the water. This terrarium will be kind of closed. You can of course have a cover on it, or you can leave it open, it depends. But of course this was not smart for me because I have my fingers dirty now and I will need to quickly run and wash my hands now, but just choose small pieces of charcoal and put it on the layer just on the mesh. And now I'm running to wash my hands. And while I'm washing my hands, please subscribe. If you like it, share, click on the bell button to be notified of all the videos that I post every week. And we will continue just in a little bit. The next layer is soil. I'm taking just universal soil, and I'm sure this will work just perfectly. And my idea is to have a little bit landscape here. So one side will be a little bit higher and the other side will be a little bit lower. I will show you the result. I'm using this stick also to kind of make it more beautiful and interesting. And I'm putting the rocks here as well to kind of create a design here. And you can just scatter them. The next is plants. So I'm taking this Selaginella. This will be a very beautiful plant in a terrarium because it really likes humidity. So I'm going to plant it just one side, just next to this rock. I think it will be pretty awesome here. I just cover it a little bit, not cover, but I just push the soil towards it to kind of stabilize the plant and make it firm, make the soil firm around the plant. All right. The next one, I'm going to take this tiny piece of Phytonia. I have two pieces, so Phytonias will be on both sides of my terrarium to add color because they have this very nice pink leaves. So one will be just here on the right side, just next to this stone, this rock. And this Phytonia will be just on the other side, making it kind of contrasting again and making it more beautiful, adding colors and kind of different varieties to the terrarium. And of course, asparagus. All these plants love humidity. They will perfectly grow here, and all of them don't really like very bright light. So you can choose just plants that like the same conditions in terms of light, watering, humidity of the air, so that you have them all growing in the same conditions. And now, just to add more beauty here, I'm putting this piece of bark here. It will just again make it look like a forest, make it look more natural. I really love it. And now the plants that I found in the forest, different types of plants, just tiny plants that will not grow into huge plants, of course. And of course, I will be adding moss. So let's do this step by step. I'm planting this in front of the, just next to the wall so that it will be really seen quite well. So just in front of this rock, it will be again contrasting the rock, the white rock, the bark, that stick there with moss on it. It will be really cool. And now the moss, you can just put the moss on the soil and just slightly push it towards the soil. So when you're pushing, you don't really need to dig it into the soil, or you don't need to cover it with the soil. It will just grow into the soil when you will have humid air there. So next is plants. Now I'm adding just a little bit of moss around the plants to make it more beautiful and also to cover the soil around the plants. Of course, you can leave a little bit of soil without plants because the moss will just cover it, or the plants will grow and cover eventually the whole surface of the soil. But let's just go ahead and add all the moss around the plants in the terrarium to make it look like a forest, a small forest in our terrarium. Slightly pushing, I put it between the plants, between the rocks, to the walls. And you can already see that I have one side a little bit higher and the other side a little bit lower. And this is kind of my landscape in my terrarium. The last pieces of moss go here. If in the future you will see that one of your plants is not growing, or it may get rotten, especially if you are trying for the first time, don't worry, you can always replace the plants. It will be really easy. You will just take the plants and you will plant the new ones. And now the final touches. I will put this one rock here, And the bug. Now the bug is going to live in its new home, and I will just put it on this moss. Awesome. I like it. So as you can see, the pill bug is there, and the moss and the plants, the rocks, the stick, and also the bark. You see here the Fittonia, everything. I don't know. I really like it. So as you can see, we have kind of landscape here, kind of different layers. So in the front, you see it's the soil and the plants are a little bit lower. At the back, they are a little bit higher, and the stick, the moss, the rock, the bark, and all these plants make it really wonderful. The shapes of leaves are different, the colors of the plants are different, which makes it really, really beautiful. Please leave in the comments if you are growing plants or moss in your terrariums, what type of plants, how you take care of it, because I would really like to know about your experience as well. This is my first moss and I'm really curious to know how it will grow. Let's have a look at all sides. I really love it, especially this asparagus. It's the tallest plant in the terrarium. And I really love these rocks. And I'm here in this beautiful nature, just taping this nice video for you, and I hope it's useful for you. I'm going to post some updates later, how the plants are doing, how they're growing, and how the peel bug is doing. And I'm really looking forward to hear from your stories about your terrariums. Stay patient about plants. See you next time, my dears.